Hey, Mega Moms. Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. And today I am proud to introduce you to my new coaching client, Valeriya Brauer. And she is going to share her origin story, how she got into real estate, why she decided to sign up for coaching, and what she expects to get out of this year. If you don't know, we are offering a mega results guaranteed coaching package where I guarantee you will make six figures within a year of working with me, working while your kids are in school. Hey, Valeriya.
Hello.
I'm so excited to introduce you. You are such a rock star and a true mega mom. So some things about Valeriya you have to know. She's a mom of four, right?
Yes.
Mom of four. She homeschools.
Yes.
And she is wanting to be full-time in real estate, making that six figures, and it is entirely possible. So she's actually been part of our group. She was part of our inner circle when we had that program for a while, from probably a few years, I would
hmm
say. Yeah. And you've just always been so coachable. Whenever you applied to coach with me, I just knew right away you and I would hit it off, and it's going so well. So, why don't you tell us more about you? How did you get into real estate?
So I never planned on it. I was one of my first jobs was working at McDonald's and Wendy's, and then as a jewelry salesperson. And when I was jewelry salesperson, I could even sell a ring to anybody. I was like, no, I'm not going to be a salesperson at all. Then I was a medical assistant. After that, I had a few kids, and my husband saw that I'm very much a people person, and he saw that I was at home with the kiddos all the time, and he's like, you need something new. And he's always taught me about real estate and wanting to invest. And he goes, well, what do you think about being a realtor? And I looked at him like he was crazy. I'm like, what? I homeschool, I take care of the house, like I take care of you, like, and you want me to do something else? Then I thought about it, prayed about it, and I was like, why not? I like a challenge. So, I was like, okay, if I pass the test, I'll do it. Pass the test. If I sell a couple of houses, I'll do it. I did that. So I was like, okay, I meant to do this, and it's actually a lot easier, than selling jewelry, I guess.
Well, and the thing is, I think that's a lot of people's hang up is I would never want to be a real estate agent because I don't like to sell. And I like to tell people, like, it's not about selling, it's about providing value to the buyer or the seller. It's about understanding the negotiation, to help
Yes,
them get the best deal possible. But as far as the houses go, right, we're not going to talk somebody into the biggest purchase of their life. You know,
exactly.
you're not, you're an ethical person. And I
Exactly.
think that moms make such great realtors because we're natural problem solvers, multitaskers by fault most of the time.
Yes.
Um, nurturers, we care and we're attentive to things um, that maybe others may not be. I'm not going to say they're not good at it, but I think moms have this like special superpower.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed. And I love to teach. So I think this helps me to teach folks how to buy a house or how to sell a house. I
mhm.
had wanted to be a teacher when I was growing up, but I decided I don't like schoolwork, homework. So, with jokes on me since I homeschool, but we get done by one, so it's okay. But teaching people how to buy a home, the process of it, really, like when people understand it, it makes me happy. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're making a true difference. So let's talk about how you were a member of a team and you sold enough to, to feel good as far as about being in real estate and making what you wanted to make while you were on the team. And then you decided to make a transition off the team. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I'm with EXP, and they require you either to get a mentor to do your first three transactions or join a team. And I knew, as a homeschooling mom and somebody who was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, before going into real estate, that I would need a lot of guidance. I need somebody who's patient, who can teach me, but can also understand the family life. And so I did a little bit of research and found the team leader, and he was awesome. He's very patient, and he pushed me at the same time, because he knew that I can succeed. I know in the beginning there was a lot of doubt, because when people look at me, they're like, how are you going to do this? You have 4 kids, you homeschool, how? But I was so thankful he had the belief, to coach me through it, and, you know, talk to me about how I should be doing everything. So once I was able to feel more comfortable, after closing, I believe it was 12 homes my first year, I was like, okay, I know how to do real estate. And so leaving the team was hard, because it was nice to have somebody to lean back on. But I was like, okay, I think I'm comfortable going solo and potentially building my own team down the road, but nothing huge, because uh, I don't, at this time in my life, I don't prefer managing people. So it'd have to be somebody who would jump on with me, and just work with me.
Yeah. So that was something we talked about in the application process for coaching, as you let me know you were really interested in becoming a team leader and specifically a micro team leader. So why don't we talk about, what made you click on that button and book your appointment and ask or apply to be a coaching student with this guarantee?
I figured with such an amazing guarantee, like there was nothing to lose. And I'm really big on accountability. When folks ask me to keep them accountable, I'm like, sure, absolutely, because I know that you're trying to grow yourself. And I was like, okay, now I need accountability. I know how to sell a house, I know how to get leads, but, and go through the transaction. But the accountability of doing it every day, right? Monday through Friday, and sometimes Saturday, Sunday, that's what I really needed and was looking forward to. And and it was a lot of money for us, but I was like, it's going to remind me every time, hey, you're spending this much, so you better get up and do the work. So it was, I talked to my husband, we prayed about it, and, we were in agreement to do this, and he's in full support, because we have with, my husband has a few kidney or a few health issues. He may need a kidney transplant in the future. The doctor kept saying 4 to 5 years for the past like 10 years. So it's good that he hasn't had to have it yet, but it can happen that he may need a kidney transplant. So we're kind of gearing ourselves towards the possibility of him not being able to work during that time.
And you're hoping to, you shared with me in our first call that you're hoping to have enough rental property to offset his income for a time being, just so there's not a disruption and able to meet your basic needs. And then of course on top of that, building your real estate business will just be a bonus on top. But your real estate business is what's going to fund the investment properties, correct?
That's right. Yeah. So my husband is an electrician, and so he's still an apprentice in his 4th year. So we know that there's potential for good income, but with the type of company that he's with, he doesn't get paid vacations, or long time off. So with the real estate business, being a realtor, you have relationships that you establish with other agents who may have great deals, right? And they may introduce these deals for you. And, let's say it's I mean, here in California, a $200,000 property is like a steal, so you get that. If you want to buy it, you flip it, that becomes an investment, and you rent it out, right? So then our goal is to have 10 properties. We have one. So our goal is to have at least 10 properties for that income to come in, and having the connections through my real estate business, I believe can really make it happen.
Yeah, and part of what we talked about in our initial session was breaking that down into bite-sized goals and like, okay, what does that look like for a down payment in your first year? Like working with me. So what's our goal together? And then beyond that, so you can reach that goal of having the 10 by the 5-year mark. So I'm so excited for you. You have a really clear-cut plan, and I have no doubt you're going to make that goal. So let's talk about like your experience so far. How long ago did you sign up?
I want to say 2 years ago. So I've
Well,
been in real
for
estate December
coaching.
3rd. Oh, coaching. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's like been a month and a half. It's not been very long.
No, not at all. But man, I feel like it's made a huge difference already. Like it not only holds you accountable, but it also there's so many amazing organizational tools. And in my dream world, I'm very organized. Okay, in my dream world. In real life, I'm trying. So with this is just one of the most amazing systems that I've ever seen, that helps my multitasking brain. There's many things for my multitasking brain to see, but it's just blended so well together.
Yeah, so what does the outline look like or the program look like for you?
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so what I mean is, how many calls are you having, and are you doing group calls, one-on-one calls? Is there a course?
Oh, got it. Yes. So there's a course. I do 3 calls currently a week. And then we have the every other week coaching call with you. Um, so I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah, do you feel like, and of course that's not mandatory to have, but she has access to all 3 calls. Do you feel like you are supported?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. I learned so much.
So tell me something that has made the biggest impact in your business so far.
The, through the like
Through
inner circle,
coaching.
through
No, through
coaching.
coaching. Yeah, which something that maybe you knew you needed to do before, but you never actually put feet to it. What have you implemented since coaching that has made an impact?
So keeping track of my numbers of the people that I talk to, because throughout the day I can talk to a whole bunch of people, but then I'm like, okay, did I actually have a good conversation about real estate or what? So having the lead generation tracker and then seeing my percentages, right? We set a percentage of how much I'm supposed to be doing and then seeing did I meet that goal or not? And then also having the numbers. What numbers am I supposed to have in order to be on track for my goals? And that's been huge. My goal is because it's California, it might seem easier, but not necessarily, right? So keeping me on track, the lead generation coupled with the know your numbers is definitely keeping me on track for my goals.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool. We had our coaching session before this podcast, and she was sharing, "Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm on track. I kind of feel like I'm behind." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's look at that." So then she was showing me her buyer progress, or buy the opportunity tracker for the buyers, opportunity tracker for the sellers. And it's like, actually, you are on track. She has the needed number of buyers signed. So that's something that's not been really practiced in her particular area to do buyer agency or buyer consultations. And with the strategies we teach and the resources you have, do you feel like that helped you sign them?
Absolutely. I have learned so much in regards to that and knowing that it's normal in a lot of areas to have the buyer agency agreement and then learning from you, hey, you've been doing this for a while, and that buyers aren't like, no, I'm not going to sign it, right? There's more buyers that do and the different strategies that you've given us with the coaching on how to approach it too.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that that's also a great point is when you collaborate with people outside of your state, sometimes it just opens your eyes to what's possible and
Absolutely.
not just stuck in your own mindset of how it's always been in your market. And so Valeria is actually on track for her buyers, the number of buyers she needs active, and on track for the number of listings she needs active as of probably next week. So she
Yeah.
has, some listings coming soon. So you're on track to meet your goal of making more than 6 figures actually for you.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Well, it's still 6 figures, but it's not just 100,000. It's more than 100,000
Yes.
in gross commission income. And I'm so excited for you. And oh, let's talk about the other important piece of this, right? We talk about doing it while your kids are in school. So you have limited time
Yes.
and you are making this work, right? So let's talk about how you're doing that. And I know that Valeria has shared with me, like, she feels behind sometimes, and that's okay. Like, I want a real honest answer, and we're working through, like, I know that you're gonna just continue to get your systems down, your calendar down, and, we do have tools and resources for that, but how are you keeping up with everything?
Oh my gosh. So it's funny you mentioned that because you were, when I had first done the six foundations before the update, you talked about time blocking. And in my mind, I was like, how? I have four kids, I homeschool, our life is always on the go. How am I going to time block? But now, like as I did the calendar audit and kept track of what I'm doing, I realized that there's certain times that I actually do the work. Like in the evening, I'm usually following up with new leads, through our Facebook marketplace thing. I'm following up with them, just shooting them a quick message. And then the next day I know, hey, this person needs to be sent to the lender. So time blocking, is not a bad word, I learned. So doing it as well as I can with knowing, because I have several doctor's appointments myself during the week. So just making sure I'm very firm on the appointments that I set, and just listening to you talk about your schedule just gives me confidence that it's okay, owning your own time and telling people no, if it's like an extra thing that they want me to do, because I'm here to grow my business. And so I set my kids up. My kids are 9, 7, 5, and 3. And the 9 and 7-year-old can do their schoolwork by themselves for the most part. So I set myself up from like 9 to about noon or 1 o'clock to do schoolwork. And after that, it depends on the day. Are we doing chores or are we doing work? So, and
And she
also,
didn't even mention you're doing physical therapy. I mean,
yes,
you're juggling doctor's appointments and you're doing all 3 calls, all 3 group calls that we have
yes,
available, plus some brokerage calls.
yes,
So, I mean, your schedule is jam-packed, right?
yes,
But I do think you've arranged it in a way that maybe, like, during the calls, you're getting some other things done, and
yes.
it goes back to the time blocking, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And being confident in your schedule and knowing what's important and prioritizing. And that's where I was excited to join this coaching group too, or the coaching, because it gives me confidence, that it gives me that confidence of it's okay to say no to other things, and to really focus on building your business. Once that's mostly built up, then, you can slowly introduce other things too.
Absolutely. So, something else that we're working on is helping Valeria identify 3 lead sources. And something I ask my students to agree to before signing up with me is that they won't sign up for any other coaching program or software or anything that's going to cost them money, because I want to see them get a return on their investment from the coaching that they do with me first. And so you've chosen your 3 lead sources. Do you
Yeah.
wanna share what those are?
I have open houses, then I have online, um, and oh my gosh, I blanked on my third one.
Sphere.
Yes, Sphere. Thank you. Yes, Sphere. So Sphere to me, is a lot of family and friends. So it doesn't seem like a lead source, but it is. People like me and trust me already, and they send people over. So the on that doesn't feel like work to me. Sphere connecting with people, but online and open houses feels like a little bit of work, but it's getting more natural.
And then from the 3 lead sources, what do we do from there? What did you have to outline?
So Sphere, we have sending out. Um,
Well, not your
oh,
specific strategies, but,
oh, got
like,
it.
the next step was to outline your 5 strategies, right?
Oh, yes. Yes. To put them on my calendar, outline them,
Mhm.
put them on my calendar, and make sure that I consistently do them.
Yeah, and then from there, I'm just gonna go ahead and share just, how it goes. Let's say somebody can't afford to do coaching and they're like, "Well, how is she doing this? What This is the formula. This is the formula." First, you gotta know your numbers. What do you need to produce in order to reach your goals? That's the
Yes.
first step. And we have that calculator within our course, but you can just figure it out by, going through your own budget, figuring out how many transactions do you need to meet your monthly budget. Then, um, you need to know where the leads are going to come from. How are you going to reach that transaction goal? So my advice to anyone, especially newer agents or as a struggling agent that doesn't have these things mastered, you want to have 3 primary lead sources that you're not going to deviate from, that you're going to fully marry and master. And from those lead sources, you have at least 5 strategies that enhance those lead sources. So each lead source gets its own strategy. It goes on your calendar, and then you start tracking your numbers. So this is where she said the lead generation tracker. So Valeriya daily is asking herself, how many people did I attempt to reach? How many people did I connect with? How many people did I book an appointment with? How many people did I connect with a lender? And so all she has to control is her attempts, and the rest of it is going to fall into place. And then that's where I come in and hold you accountable. And honestly, your attempts are on point. Like, you have been so consistent with that, and I think that's attributing to your success.
Absolutely. That's really helped me to focus because we were talking about in the previous time that, I know I talk to a lot of people, but how many do I actually talk to, right? I feel tired at the end of the day. I'm like, did I talk to my 10? So having my number set and then seeing if I met that or not, kind of keeps me accountable as well.
Talk about the real life side of this. And so, what has been the most challenging part of this so far for you?
Going in at the end of the evening and keeping track of everything. Just getting into the habit, right? And I'm okay with that. I know it's going to be a little tough until I figure out what my schedule is, what's the easiest way to go about it. Do I keep track on a paper and then put it into the computer later? But it's just keeping track of my attempts. But it's not hard. It's not hard. It's just
Right.
doing it.
Yeah, and that's something I have to remind everyone. It's like, "Oh, what else do you have?" I'm like, "You haven't mastered these things yet. We're gonna master this before we add anything else." And sometimes it's like, "Well, that doesn't seem new and exciting, but it's simple. It's not easy, you know?" Um,
Exactly.
so I have a question for you, Valeria. What, um, have you done any other coaching programs before, like outside of Mega Moms?
I mean, I feel like I have just because I've tried all the shiny different things, but
Mhm.
not really a focused one-on-one coaching.
Okay. So I was just going to ask, what do you think is different, or what has been a differentiator with Mega Moms versus another company that you might have, used before or been exposed to before?
So for me, the big thing was that your systems worked, the ones that I had. Like I had 6 foundations before I joined coaching. Did I do all of them? No. I've gotten much better with being on track with them, but I was like, okay, so this stuff works. So let me see what coaching can do for me, to put it all together, all this stuff that I'm learning.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. Well, what would you say to someone that's maybe on the fence about going through coaching with us now?
Absolutely do it. Do it, but know that you will be held accountable. And it's a good thing. It's going to help you grow. And the feeling in the mega moms is that, you know, you're understood as a mom. You might have a kid asking for Oreos when you tell them not to interrupt you during a podcast, and the moms understand that. That is huge for me because, there's been times in my life where people are like, oh my gosh, you have so many kids. It's like, I'm sorry, are we interrupting you? Like, because I have so many kids. I don't know, so it's just knowing that there are other moms who are just doing it, because as moms we just do it, we get stuff accomplished. And so coaching and growing your business, this is the place to be for sure.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm so excited for everyone to see your journey. So, this is how it's going to go down. We're going to do a video series for Valeriya. She is recording weekly or bi weekly, like vlog posts. So, what she's doing is she's recording herself. She's answering a few questions about, here's my win this week. Here's what I struggled with this week. Here's my real and raw truth. Like, maybe I don't know. I haven't got to watch your stuff yet, but I'm
That's
assuming
been
based
pretty much
on
it.
yeah, okay, okay. So, you have Do we have your word, Valeria, that you're going to share the real behind the scenes, the real and raw behind the scenes of what you're going through?
Yes, but I'll wear makeup when I do. So I don't
And
look as bad as I feel.
so if you want to see her transformation, so just for reference, let's talk about where you were before Mega Moms, and then the goal after Mega Moms is to make the six figures. But what did you make last year?
Last year it was not a very good year. I had a lot of personal stuff, but the year before that it was just under 70.
Hmm. Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about last year. I mean, even with your personal stuff, where we want to know, like, where are you coming from? What are you coming off of?
So I had I think four closings last year. Um, and I know that I could have succeeded if I had had a plan in place. So I think
Hmm.
that also drove me to click on the coaching button because I'm like, I know I can do this, but I need a plan. And
Hmm.
so this is helping to provide a plan. So for last year. So that was, I don't know, maybe 20,000.
Okay, and the goal this year, so everyone knows, is she said 12, I say 24. But, we're gonna get there in between that number, 12 to 24 transaction, and of course, she's in California, she does have a little higher price point, but she also has quite a bit more competition, and so, I think that will be such a huge accomplishment, and I have every confidence that you're going to meet your goal, Valeria, and we are gonna all be here cheering you on, and I can't wait to see you close on your first investment property.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully. Yeah, we wanna document that, we wanna document that, so, just follow the Mega Mom, Mega Success, or Mega Results series on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see all of Valeria's vlog posts, her vlog entries, and some clips from our coaching sessions, and so some real and raw, little edits there, so I'm excited to share that with the world, and thank you for being willing to share your life. And I know that it's hard to be vulnerable, but I know you're also going to be an inspiration to others.
And that's my hope. That's my hope. Even if you have 15 kids, it's doable. It's absolutely doable. You just need somebody to guide you. So, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
So, by the way, if you want to contribute to her 12 to 24 transactions this year and send Valeria, our girl Valeria, a referral, where do you work?
I work in the Central Valley of California. So Sacramento to San Jose-ish, like that whole area I can cover. So where I live is an hour and a half away from everywhere. We do have smaller towns in between, but so Central Valley and a little bit of East Bay.
Okay. And she is amazing. Like, you really hold your clients' hands, you do the research. So your clients would be in excellent hands with her. I would not hesitate to send her away. So, all
Absolutely.
right,
Let
ma'am.
me know
So
where you need
we will
referrals.
see. Yes. Oh, I should have said we should actually go ahead and end with this. How can they contact you? How can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, that's for sure. Um, I have my phone number on there. Do I bust out my phone number here? All right.
You can, or I guess I could put it in the show notes. I can, or do you have a
Yes,
handle on Instagram?
I do. It's Val B Loves Patterson, California, or CA at the end. It's very long, but Val B
Okay.
Loves Patterson, CA.
And we'll put all of her contact information in the show notes below. All right, until next time, Mega Moms, we'll see you next week.